Hello, all you ghouls and goblins, and welcome back to the Solar Room, where you meet us, the Chaos Lords, Kattburglar and Fox, as we talk about another topic with our Solar Scouts and Knights. Nothing can be complete without our cosplay queen, Peaches. Peaches, say hello.
Hi.
We have our mental health guru himself, the wonderful Visaya. Can you say hello for us, Visaya?
Hello, hello.
We have the music god, the god of the keys, Trey Royal. We call him Travie. Travie, say hello.
What's happening, everybody?
And no podcast can be complete without the god of the manga. We're talking about
Yes.
the dad needs to talk himself. Rob, Rob, say hello to the people.
What's up, y'all? Glad to be here.
Yay.
Today we are going over The Last of Us, and we're talking about a few games that have turned into movies that we may have loved and we may have hated. So stay tuned.
Okay, so let's start. Who has seen the
Sorry.
first and second episode? All of
I
us?
have.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not The Last of Us. It's like, nah.
Okay. You
More
had to
like
get
the
it out.
I
more
had to
like
get it
the
out.
first
I'm
two of
sorry.
us.
I'm gonna let you rock out with that one.
I had to get it off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And we asked this off recording, but I think most of us has either played it or watched gameplay. We don't have to get into why some of us have not played it, but it's a scary game, okay? It's scary.
It's not for me
It's not for me either.
to play.
Stress inducing.
Yeah, the
Absolutely.
show is so stressful too. Anyways, we'll get to that
Emotional.
about emotional and scary. Don't take that away from me. It's scary.
It's for you.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Peaches. Do you have any first thoughts about the first episode?
The first episode, I'm not gonna lie, I watched part of it the day it came out. I had to watch it the next day during the day 'cause I was getting too scared. I was like,
See,
my heart might
Same.
be in. Are they in the room with me too? Mm. Mm. But it's really good. It reminds me of the game State of the Cave for some reason. But it's good. I reckon watch it during the day. Watch it during the day. Don't do nighttime.
yes,
Yep. Yep. Right
That's
there.
my
or like
input.
with friends.
Yeah.
Yep. 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 When everybody's awake. Yep.
State of Decay actually would make a pretty good show. Now I'm
See,
thinking about that.
that's what I'm saying.
You
It's somewhat
would.
similar to this, and I'm like, okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with this game. Can somebody tell me about it briefly?
It's on Xbox. It's basically kind of like a survival type of game where you can create your own character and you're kind of going around finding different survivors throughout the area and kind of like building up your gear. And this is stuff that I loosely remember because my wife played it more than I did. I kind of just remember watching her play because she got really heavy into that series. But yeah, in the long and short of it is it's kind of like a survival style game.
Okay.
Almost like almost. I hate to say it. It's almost like an RPG Walking Dead. If Walking Dead did
Yeah.
RPG style, that would be State of Decay.
Yep.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
On Xbox, by the way.
Yes.
On Xbox only? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna check it
and
out because I'm curious.
maybe PC.
I
I know
think
for
I
sure
saw
PC,
it.
Xbox.
but
I
it
think
is
I see
it
it.
is definitely a Xbox exclusive. It's
Yeah.
console exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
It's
That
best to play
happens.
online with friends. It's fun to play online with friends. I'll tell you that.
And death is really permanent in that game, so don't die.
It is.
Don't
They will
die.
make you start anew if your character dies.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And your character gonna turn into a zombie, so just don't get smoked.
Mhm.
Hmm. I had to fight
serious,
myself one time. I'm
I'm
like,
about
are
to say,
you
you'll see
serious?
yourself.
You gotta fight yourself.
You'll see yourself. If you die, you might see yourself in that field one day. You be like,
You gotta get your stuff back.
Wait,
Is
so
that
you
me?
you spend this time designing, like you can make the character look a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can die, and then you just see that person you made,
Yeah, I
and then
lost
you
my
gotta.
main character really early. I was like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
you're not the main character no more.
Exactly.
One of my survivors became the main character. It's okay. He got smoked by accident too. I
Oh
was just like,
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, you can switch between the character that you started out with and other survivors that you've found and stuff along the way too. Yeah.
Huh.
yeah.
Hmm. It's very interesting. Very
Yeah, I
interesting
recommend that game.
indeed.
That's a good game. I ain't gonna lie.
Especially at night on the night mode. It's
And then you just say, never
I know. I
mind.
was gonna
Mhm.
say,
I'm gonna
hold up
say,
now.
hold
The
on now,
math ain't
wait,
Hold on.
mathing.
wait a
Hold
minute.
on. The math ain't
The
mathing.
mathematics,
in the
The math
game at
ain't
night is
messing.
fun.
the
Oh, okay.
mathematics ain't
It
mathing.
is.
I wasn't gonna call you out at first. I just
Like,
was like, huh?
I think everybody had to do a quick squint for a second, like.
They
let me
did. You
cut
guys
through
all
your
did. I
words.
saw all y'all squint eyes at me. But yeah.
All right, well, Vasaya, how did you feel about it so far?
Um, I, I honestly thought it was pretty cool. I'm a give y'all a little bit here in saying that I feel like they definitely added horror element to it. If you play like if you were to play and start off The Last of Us, the game, that part wouldn't that wouldn't it wouldn't seem scary when you started. You get what I'm saying? Playing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game.
Mhm.
When you're watching the episode itself, you're seeing the old lady transforming behind you off
Oh my
camera.
goodness,
You
that
know,
was
Yeah,
so
they
scary.
they introduce the tendrils coming out people's mouths, and the way you finally seen your first infected just running around and moving, it made it really, really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um when you play the game, it doesn't, it starts like that, like it's almost exactly mirrors that, but I'm telling you, it's like Joel just shoots the infected and just moves on. That
Yeah.
whole sequence that we saw for the
That was,
first episode,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that my heart was shaking a little bit. I was like, I know what's gonna happen, but I'm still nervous. Like maybe Joel might get bit. They be like, we're gonna restart the episode over some stupid shit like that. But I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, nah, that was great. I give that, as far as something being exactly alike or borrowing source material, that was a 10 out of 10 for me.
yeah.
10 out of
Mhm.
10.
Yeah, when grandma was Harlem shaking in the background,
Oh my
Hell yeah.
goodness.
I
Woo!
ran out the room. You hear me? I was gone. And cat knows I will run.
I like how I like how
It
they
was so
changed
scary.
it though again with the tendrils, that the tendrils were infecting people and not killing them as opposed to like eating them, because in The Last of Us people kind of get eaten a
Yeah.
little bit. But this
Yeah.
game people was, I mean, this movie this show, people was just transformed. We had the other two people that got eaten in the beginning, they transformed too. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Wow.
There's a part, not to, I'm not skipping ahead. I just want us to prepare at the end of the second episode that we will have to discuss.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah. Ooh, you gonna have me have to talk about that one. I'm a
okay, we're gonna get, I just want y'all to
Let's talk
know.
about general though, because we're gonna get it. We're gonna dive into it. We're
yeah.
gonna
I'm
dive
I'm
Oh
into
I'm
yeah,
I'm
it.
that
gonna
was a
wait till we
big
get there. But yeah,
change. The second
that,
episode was a big change.
man,
Woo!
listen,
Shook me to my core.
listen.
That was different. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
That was different.
Travi, how did you feel overall?
I loved it.
General
I
sense.
loved the first episode. I love like a lot. Like Vasai was saying, I like a lot of the added context because a lot of those there were things there in the episode that weren't in that part of the game. You know what I'm saying? They introduced it and they brought new elements to it. So it's like they had the first scene where they had the guy on the talk show. He was talking about fungi and like how like if it was to change, like what could it do and how would that affect humanity, human race, and everything. So that kind of added extra sense of, oh, this is real. Like
Mhm.
could get dangerous. And then it's like they added the extra context with Sarah because again in the game you don't really see Sarah as much. You just see Joe. You see everything from Joe's perspective starting out. So you see her. She go to school. She before she comes back home, she gets his watch fixed for his birthday,
Mhm.
and then she stops at her neighbor's house or whatever because he's supposed to be out at work until it's time for him to come back home. And again, you see the grandmother, the mother, or whatever in the background, just Harlem shaking
Y'all,
because
this
it's
Crazy.
somewhere somehow she got infected. I don't know. We don't really get to see
yeah.
how that happened to her, but we know that it happens because later on, Sarah comes in the house because the dog is spooked. The neighbor's dog is spooked to
Mhm.
death, and they go in the house and she see that the Mister in the corner bleeding to death, and then his wife over there getting chomped on. So
Yeah.
If
Hmm.
I call out for somebody and they don't respond and the door is open, I'm leaving.
There's
Yeah,
no need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go in. Don't go in
Yeah.
the
That's not my
house.
You
job.
already
yeah.
told me everything I need to know. It's time
Exactly.
to go.
Mr.
Wrap up.
Smith, are you there? No. Okay. Well,
And
I
she
Okay,
don't
kept
time
know.
to
going.
I don't
go.
know why your door's open, but I'm gonna close that
Close
for
it,
you.
right? Keeping it
Yep.
What is
moving.
this
Goodbye.
blood doing on
You
the
know, it's
floor?
kind
Let
of
me
getting
follow the
windy in
trail.
there.
Right, and then follow the blood trail. No, that wouldn't be me. That that would not be me. Sorry. I might call 911, but I won't be
Yeah.
investigating it myself. No, thank
Yeah,
No.
just like,
you.
whoops.
And then
Call
like
the ambulance, but not for
call
me.
the ambulance. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Hell
But
no.
then it's like, yeah, when Joel comes, he's like, get in the car, and they just drive, and they trying to get out of the city, and then they have to still drive into the city, and you see all the chaos
Oh
happening, and
man.
I guess somebody's infected on the plane. They try to fly on the plane, and the plane crashed to the city. And I was like, "Woo!" I remember this part. I was
It's
like, that
crazy.
has to be just insane. Like, imagine you already running for your life, and then you see a plane fall out the sky.
I know.
That
Oh,
has to be intensely terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to get eaten or whatever, but I also don't want to survive all that.
Yeah,
I just kind of want like the Lord to take me up, you know?
Yo.
Just like in this when
as
all
I
of this
said
happening, I'm
before,
like,
if
Take my last
apocalypse
sleep.
like that was the
Just
if a
pillow.
zombie apocalypse like that was to ever happen, I'm blowing a whistle on myself. I'm sorry to say.
yeah, you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
We would have a better chance of surviving this apocalypse as opposed to an actual zombie apocalypse. Like we could survive this, like
Do I no,
realistically.
Can we?
no, do
I
I
mean,
We
want to?
can.
can I mean from how they do again? They changed a little bit in the show, just a little bit, as how they have the fun guy acting in this show.
Well, this new
Mm.
communication. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But we know what to avoid. We would know where to avoid. You know what
How?
I'm saying?
but you seen what happened in episode 2. They still tried that, and they
Wait, wait, wait,
still
wait. Y'all going too
We
Yeah,
far
ain't
but
going
we
ahead.
too
Hold
only
far. We
seen
on.
going
this
too
Hold
happen
far.
we
in
on.
a.
going too far.
We seen this only happen in a city, but I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna wait till we get
No, we
there.
gonna
Wait.
get there. We gotta know how Rob feels about it. And then we go up to that.
I was like, please leave something for me to say. Uh,
Sorry.
y'all good, but yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with everybody. Yeah, I loved both of these episodes, but yeah, specifically speaking about episode 1, the point where I was like, yeah, I'm in, was when they had the theme music from the game in the intro.
Yeah.
When
Hmm.
I heard that
Yeah.
guitar started, I
Yeah.
was like, oh
Boom,
yeah,
boom, boom,
buckle
boom,
up, I'm
boom,
in.
Mhm.
And
boom,
so
boom,
yeah, it
boom.
was
Yeah, it
just
is.
it was just so well done because they did such a well mix of some shot for shot moments to where it's like you can almost like speak the lines as the characters are saying it, because they literally,
Hmm.
because I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen the
Leonardo
side by side
DiCaprio
clips.
me.
Mhm.
Now the side by side clips people have been taking from like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, certain moments from the show and the game, and it's been like synced up word for word. I've
Yeah.
been loving that, but I've also been loving uh the expanded scenes on it, because like what I believe Trey said a while ago, with the game you're following Joe's perspective for the most part, versus with the TV show. Okay, we can go and see, all right, what was Tess doing uh during this time? What was, Marlene and the Fireflies, what were they doing over here?
Mhm.
It kind of added a lot more context to stuff, because even like with Sarah going to get the watch fixed, it's like,
Oh
we
yeah.
saw, the moment in the game where, okay, she hands him the watch, they
Mhm.
joke about, oh, she took the money from his dress, da 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 da, but actually seeing her go and do that, and just getting to see more or less a full day in
Hmm.
Mhm.
of normalcy before everything hits the fan, because like what Vasaya and Trey both said, it's like the game kind of just jumps almost immediately into it or whatever. You don't give really too much time in a quote unquote normal world. And so
Yeah.
I love that, hey, for like the first like 15-30 minutes of the episode 1, it was like, hey, we're just gonna
Hmm.
just show y'all what normal life is, and just like the subtle little hints of like what we keep talking about, like with the grandma in the background slightly
Yeah.
changing, and the lady at the watch shop rushing
Hmm.
her out the door, like, all right, cool, you got your watch and get out, go home. And so just seeing like like things just slowly start to unravel and just that unease start to slowly build. It was fantastically done.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we were talking about Grandma Harlem Shaking, but what really got
Yo,
me,
I'm saying Harlem Shake.
because that's what she was doing.
Harlem
It
shaking
was.
grandma.
No, she was definitely going crazy. She was solid.
But
When
Oh,
she
shout,
when
what
shout,
she,
shout out
got
to that
me,
dog though.
okay,
when she opened her
Oh,
mouth though, I was just waiting for her to go.
that was
I was-
crazy. But like when when old buddy was trying to feed her the biscuits and she
Mm.
even opened her mouth, I was like, oh, okay,
oh
I'm
yeah.
watching you. That's when I knew that I was like, oh,
you don't
okay,
want a biscuit?
Grandma don't want no
What?
biscuit,
No buttermilk biscuit? Are you okay?
no biscuit.
That's
That
not the
was crazy.
nutrition she was looking for.
Oh.
Okay. Ugh.
I think that's how it spread.
The
For the
biscuit.
biscuits?
The flour, no flour.
It's the flour, yeah.
I think it spread through
That's what
flour.
I talked about in the episode
But
too.
we got to get to the next
Oh
episode before I even
yeah.
say anything
I'm
about
about to
that.
throw all
But
my flour
Yeah,
away
but we're
now.
Speaking
gonna talk
of,
about episode one right
I'ma
now.
love that episode. I'm wait till we get there, but I'ma love that episode. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode one, we see like everything unfolds. Does anybody want to start off about what they want to talk about at the beginning of the episode? Or was something that was eye catching to you? To me, it was the biscuits.
The
Mm-hmm.
biscuits.
It was the biscuits.
Specifically.
They
The
look
foodie
dry.
jumped out. The foodie jumped out.
Oh, first of all, the biscuits was nasty, so I really wasn't holding her. But it's the fact that she didn't open her mouth at all. And she just
Mm-hmm.
stared
Mm-mm-mm.
blankly. I was like, oh, something finna happen to you. It's finna be you. you
It
know?
was so obvious.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it
it's finna be
was.
you. That got me. And then the phone call at the pawn shop, that got me
Ooh.
too, because episode two, but we'll talk about that later.
Hmm.
Mhm.
We keep saying episode 2, but not yet.
Not yet. It's coming. It's like we
It's
just
I'm itching for it.
So episode 1, it had like a very I won't say slow in a negative way, but it was slow moving at the beginning because it was trying to get you to get connected with what's his daughter's name?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. Get connected with Sarah, like we already stated, see it from her perspective.
Hmm.
See that this chaos is coming. But then once it all happens, then it's just like go. And the episode was like what, an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Hour and some
long.
change.
It felt long. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I was like, I gotta
And
pause
they
this.
did that. They did that on purpose. Because this is why for properties like game adaptations into movies and shows, you probably need somebody like Neil Druckmann to just be on the project,
Hmm.
because they said that they extended the episode because it was originally a lot shorter than that.
mm,
They extended the episode because they wanted to add that extra context and stuff into the show, so it didn't
Mhm.
end off on a weird cliffhanger and stuff like that.
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
That makes
cause
sense.
It worked. It worked for 'em.
cause yeah, cause one thing I'll mention real quick, they have a complimentary podcast that
Mm-hmm.
goes along with the show, that is hosted by Troy Baker, who is the voice of Joel in the video games. So it's
mhm.
him along with Neil Druckmann, who was the director of the game, and Craig Mason, who is also co-executive producing the show together. And so they talked about that, like what Trey said, of how originally the episode was going to end when the after the 20-year time jump and they
Mm-hmm.
tossed the little kid in the fire. That's where the
Oh,
episode was going to end.
What?
Yeah.
Nah,
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
Oh, that would
crazy.
have been
No, that would have been
horrible.
a better way to honestly just. Cause you
no.
showing my boy,
Nah.
nah, cause y'all ain't get it. Like y'all showing my boy Joel personality change. Like y'all saw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't need to get into that part yet until y'all
You
talk about it. But y'all seen that
We can talk
significant shit
about it.
that happened to him. His daughter died. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My
Yeah.
man was so into his daughter. That was like his world.
That was his world. Yeah.
And the end of the show with him throwing the other little kid in there
Yeah.
just show how far he done dropped. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You're
Like
right. Yeah.
where he was at that point. And they was kind of making it seem like, Joe's a smuggler. Joe was like a bad dude at that point. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't really one of the he ain't really one of them dudes you want to follow, but we following
Mhm.
his storyline. But it's because we invested in him 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, nah, that would have been the perfect way to end it. Just show how far low my boy fell. His mental, you
But
know,
then
his mental
it
health,
will want
guys.
me
I'm
to
like,
think like, is there a slither of hope in him left? Which there
Yeah.
is.
No.
Yeah,
Trying to find.
I think
nah, I think
they
at that point it wasn't like,
at that time, no, it wasn't.
no.
No,
my
Yeah.
boy was
Mm-mm.
yeah,
just, I'm gonna do what I do and
before
do
the
it how
current
I do it.
events that
Like,
are taking place,
Hmm.
there was no hope left for Joe. Like that
Yeah.
nah.
was like, I guess you want to say the innocence
Mhm.
of whatever Joe had left was
Not
gone at
the
that point.
innocence. I'm not looking for
Mm,
the innocence. I'm just looking for like, so seeing that would be
Happiness.
like, okay, not happiness either, because it just,
It's all
I don't
gone.
know how to explain it, but seeing that he still cared for Tommy made me think like, okay, there's something there.
Oh yeah,
And
I
if
don't
I
think
didn't,
he's being portrayed as heartless. Is that what
Oh
you're
but that
saying?
yeah.
that could have been it. Like if I didn't know the video game and I would have
Mhm.
saw that, that would have been the cutoff. Like, oh, he finna be a dog. He got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? But seeing that how he like kind of changed character a little bit when he found out that Tommy was gone, and like how he acted through that in that first episode was like, okay, he still has something. From I'm not
Mhm.
looking at it as like from me knowing the game because we all know the game.
Mm.
I'm looking at it from
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's never seen or played the game before.
Well, we know most of the game. I can't promise y'all that I've seen all of the
I know it
gameplay.
all. Just
I
No,
can't
that's why
promise
I
y'all that
like
I've
the
seen.
show adaptation because, like I said, you able to see Joel face actual like emotion when his
Mhm.
daughter
Mhm.
died to
Mhm.
that last part with him throwing the kid in there. So it's just like
Yeah.
it's more of a we in there now. You get what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing the game, you controlling them. It's more like we controlling him.
Mhm.
Nothing's gonna
Yeah.
happen unless we push the storyline forward.
Yeah.
The storyline's being presented in front of us, so it's just
Yeah.
like we in there. Like it's just in. We've got 3D glasses at that point. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
That's a good
Okay.
point.
That's a good
okay. Can I say one thing about Joe? You know
point.
what
Mm.
he
Yeah.
reminds me of from The Walking Dead? The guy with the bat when he was throwing the kids in there. I was
Negan.
thinking of The Walking
Ne-
Dead. Yeah, the one with the
Oh
bat.
yeah.
He was right. He was giving me that vibe. I'm like, oh, so
No.
maybe
That's
this
what
Joe
person.
that it kind of
Negan.
gave me
Oh
that
Joe
too,
Negan. I
no,
mean,
and that's why I was
that
like, is there
you can.
something?
Negan.
Don't
I would
say
say
that.
Joe won't go to the extent that Negan
He
will,
said he's back
but
again.
Joe
Oh, oops.
does have that ruthlessness
Sorry.
to him.
Yeah,
He does have that
he
ruthlessness
got
to
that
him.
dog in him.
You
You know.
and
Nah,
Hmm.
that he
you
really does.
you
Them
That
tests,
naughty
and,
dog.
That
them
dog.
tests,
and
they was
That was
wild.
good. That was
Yeah.
good.
there you go. But yeah, you're gonna see more of that as the show develops. They're gonna show just how gritty he can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they
Oh, so he's
really
gonna act
like.
up some
Ooh.
more.
He gonna act up, yeah. But like I said,
See,
he's not as ruthless as Negan.
Yeah,
He
Negan
Yeah.
is.
Negan is a whole different
I
tier.
mean, y'all see them PTSD punches he applied on that security officer?
Yeah,
Y'all
I
seen them
know.
punches, man?
he
Broke
man,
his
He was
hand
not
and all that.
lying.
had that
Hit that man
flashback.
with 20 piece. He said, man, you ain't
He hit
telling
that
nothing. I
man
didn't
with
think he
20
killed him.
years of
He could,
fury.
I
exactly.
know.
It killed him. He killed him. I'm
I was
like,
so
nah.
right.
He
Strike,
had that
strike,
nah.
strike, strike,
flashback and
strike.
was like,
I didn't
That
think he
was
was gonna kill him.
crazy.
Honestly, I thought they were
No,
gonna stop him.
but it's just those little small changes that'll have you looking at the character like, oh, nah.
Yeah.
That
Oh
was crazy.
my.
Actually, get from under here. What are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna skip to Tommy. Where is Tommy? Do we know?
Uh, I
Tommy
don't want to
is
spoil it,
Hiding.
but
If people are
He's
listening
hiding.
to this episode, they should know.
It's already
Tommy is
spoiled.
with his wife hiding out.
Okay, not
Mhm.
They
that
got a little base set
spoiler.
up somewhere. They should,
He's
they got a
hiding.
head there.
Where do they insinuate that he is when he is trying to find him?
I mean, at this point, I think he's dead. But
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's why he's trying to get out there is to find him, and he
Yeah.
says to the I can't remember anybody's name. I should have had my little
Marlene.
cheat sheet. Thank you.
Marlene. Mhm.
Marlene.
That
Marlene.
they're the reasons that did he say like Tommy is against him?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tommy was more on the same, on that there's a cure, there's a possibility for the light. And Joe
Mm-hmm.
lost his daughter, so he's on his bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear none of that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
those kind of, and then you also that little slight Joe is suffering from substance abuse. I don't know if y'all seeing all this. So it's his
Mhm.
whole
Yeah.
judgment is kind of jaded at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Him running into Tommy whenever he does in The Last of Us, I don't know how they're gonna make this work, but it is gonna be not really like, yeah, it's gonna be accidental, like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
coincidental, like, oh shit, Tommy, like, you
Mm-hmm.
alive, like, but you know what I'm
Do you think
saying?
they're gonna drag that on in the show?
No.
Yeah, I know. For me, I see Tommy definitely being introduced in this season, like this little season one. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see them telling the Last of Us video game itself, the first game, in one season. I
They're
don't see
Oh
them
supposed
doing
to.
yeah.
that.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Yeah,
gonna be two.
I believe they're actually supposed to, but
Yeah, they're they're
What?
they're adapting the whole game in this season.
I
wow.
don't see
That's
it
a
happening
lot.
unless there's a lot of episodes. Like, if
It
they do a lot of
is.
episodes, then that's one thing.
yeah,
But it's like,
I believe it's quite a few episodes. It's going to
so if
be
it's
It's
like
it's
maybe like
It better be more
16,
nine.
than
y'all
10.
gonna need like
I
No,
16
know.
it's nine.
episodes probably to
It better
tell
be
this
more
whole
than 10.
story.
Y'all better
I'ma
not Game
say.
of Thrones this.
So, because somebody had mentioned the comparison because it's like 9 or 10 episodes of the show. Or I guess technically it would have been 10 if they didn't split up. If they would have split up episode one how it
one.
was supposed to be. So
Mhm.
technically it's still
Oh,
nine, but
it's supposed to
the
be
game
9.
had
Nine?
10 chapters.
Yeah, but
I
the
do
So
think
episode, some of the episode lengths will change too, because I think the next episode is also pretty long.
hmm
I like the
hmm
long episodes for something like this. It's
hmm
You gotta
huh.
do. You got
Yeah.
yeah, trying to crunch all of that into 9 episodes. That's gonna be crazy. The time jump.
I think they'll be able
um
to do it. I think they'll be
hmm
I
able
see
to do
think
it.
that
again.
I
No,
hope
go ahead.
so.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
I hope so. No, you're fine for saying. I'm
No,
just saying I hope
going
so.
just going back to the whole thing of it being a show, like, y'all gonna get to see them explain like two characters in the third episode, Bill and Frank. Now,
Oh yeah.
when you play the game, Frank dead already. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we don't even get to really see nothing. Like, he just said, I kind of like, Bill, I hate you. But we're gonna get like a whole
The backstory. Yeah.
explanation and backstory and
Mm-hmm.
how they met. And I,
Mhm.
I think that shit
And
look
I
cool. I
love,
like the
I
cat.
love
I like
I
it.
the
love,
actors that they chose to play them. My boys is about to get
Boy,
crazy. They about to get
and
I'm
crazy.
like
So
Frank.
I love Bill. Bill is one of my favorite characters in The Last of Us.
hell yeah, Bill is
Yeah.
getting crazy in the game. Oh,
Bill's one of my favorite characters in The Last of Us. So when episode 3 happens, I'm gonna be so excited.
Yeah.
I'm
We were
but yeah.
thinking about doing the little watch party ish thing.
Yeah, if y'all
Anyway,
want to, if y'all know, y'all need to join because we want to do it because it's scary.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm in there. Just don't want to hear nobody screaming when the monsters pop out, when the
I
clickers
won't
pop out.
scream, but I will freeze and just get quiet. So that's
I will
pretty much
make
it.
I just
sure
wrap
to
myself up
mute.
in a blanket.
I'll
Nah,
make sure
that
to
shit
mute
is
because you're
that
gonna
shit
hear
is scary. I'm not even gonna lie.
But nah, we got, man, episode 2.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
So
go ahead.
at the end of
Yeah.
episode 1, what happens, y'all? So
Oh
they
man,
get
such a good
Okay.
ending. So
they
we have to kind
finally
of like we've talked a lot about the first half of the first
yeah,
episode. Second
hmm
half is when
it gets
we meet.
dangerous.
Yeah, it gets dangerous. We now have Ellie. Like if you know the story, you know what the secret is. But do they tell it? They don't tell it till episode 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll get to that in just a moment. So now we have Ellie, who was also in Game of Thrones. They were both in Game of Thrones. Remember,
Yeah.
she got her body
Mhm.
slain. I hate to say that 'cause she was little. She was a little girl, but they just killed her. Why would they do that? Why am I laughing?
You gone.
I'm so sorry. But do y'all remember that in Game of Thrones?
They
Yeah.
both
Oh
got
yeah.
wrapped up. It's
I
sad.
mean,
Damn.
the
She was
dude
like, I
that
can
played
fight.
Joel was in it too. They did him dirty. The
Yeah,
mount,
he
the
got his
mountain
eyes
just
pushed out his head.
goodbye.
I
Pedro
told my
Pascal.
husband. I
Mhm.
told my husband, I said, "You recognize him?" He was like, "No." I said, "He's in the Game of Thrones," and he was like, "Who?" And I said, "Remember his eyes got pushed out of his head." He was like, "Oh
Yo,
my
did
god!"
him dirty.
And the Mandalorian.
hmm
And the
Hmm.
Mandalorian.
Yep.
We love
Right.
that stuff. We love that
And he
stuff.
was also in Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, I didn't watch it because I heard it was
Oh
trash.
no.
Look, I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
I
y'all.
refuse to watch
I'm
it.
gonna tell
Yeah.
y'all. I enjoyed that movie for what it tried to be. It is a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a bad movie, but it is enjoyable because they try to make it into a movie where it was based on the Silver Age of Wonder Woman
Mhm.
comics, and I feel like in that regard it did a good job, but it's
Okay.
so bad because of that. Like, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get with Kristen Wiig like
Cause I was like, girl, what
being
you doing over
Cheetah.
here? Go
I'm
back
not
to
as
bridesmaids.
Cheetah, yeah.
I couldn't handle her as Cheetah. No,
Like sometimes it works, but baby, not
no,
this,
I can't see it.
not you, not you.
But
I
yeah, so
find
we
it
have.
entertaining.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
Wiggle
No, go ahead.
I
No, go
was
ahead.
just because I know how we did last time. We went almost 3 hours.
But we did.
And we have not even gotten to episode 2 or the second half of the episode. So, um,
Come on, moderator, push it.
that's what I'm trying to do. So this episode ends. We have Ellie. Now we're going out over the wall. We already talked about him and his PTSD. I'm not gonna laugh at that because that was gonna be a nervous laugh. PTSD is not funny. That was a nervous laugh. But he did beat the brakes off that guy's face. He
Whew.
very
Yeah.
much did.
Put the
Mhm.
paws
Um,
on them.
Yes, he did. Um, and Ellie was like, "Hold up, now." Y'all saw how she slid over there when he
Oh,
was.
that moment changed Ellie's life right there off top.
Mhm.
That ignites something in Ellie again. That's something else that
Her
you'll see.
abandonment
It was
issues.
love.
She like
That's
somebody
her.
protecting me. Someone
Yeah.
loves me.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff in this show that I really like.
And not even just that. Like, we know, some of us know. Like I said,
Mhm.
they gonna
Yep.
get to it,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
They gonna get to it.
We're gonna keep the game knowledge limited to the episodes. So
Yeah.
that
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to go
Yeah.
ahead of nothing.
That's why I want to jump
I
to.
really
Yeah,
don't.
that's why I'm.
'Cause they
Um,
might the series might end up telling it a completely different way. That's why I
Yeah.
just don't want to.
Yeah.
one thing,
I want to be surprised just like people who didn't play the game. So
Mhm.
one thing I want to shout out real quick is that the actor that plays Marlene is the same person that plays her in the game.
in the game,
Yes,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
love that.
Indeed.
And
That
when I
is
saw, I was
really
like,
cool, yeah.
yes, Marlene in the flesh.
Yeah, because at
But-
first I was like, she looks kind of familiar, like exactly. Then when
Yeah.
I found out, I was like,
Mhm.
of course that's really dope that they did that.
That was
So
really cool.
also
Mm.
side
I'm
note,
glad that she got that opportunity.
yeah, and side note though, I didn't know that she also voices Alex Vance from Half-Life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was her very
That's new.
first voice acting
What?
role, was playing as Alex from Half-Life.
Wow.
That's good. I didn't know that.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
So
Half-Life
Look at
is
us
also
learning
scary.
stuff on this day.
If people
PG
tell y'all
13
Half-Life is
out.
not scary, they are lying.
Liars, pants for hire.
I was tricked into thinking that game was gonna just be a normal Valve game. No.
wrong.
Oh man.
Wrong.
Gotcha. They gotcha.
Anyways, I don't
Mhm.
like scary games. Yeah, so now we're on the outside. They've made it through, and we see we see some friendly faces at the very end, screeching out into the sky. Our favorite clickers,
Baby.
horrifying.
Take me on now.
That's where no, thank you. Enough.
You
End
know
it.
what they should have played at the end? Take Me to the King by Tamla Man.
Right.
That's exactly how I would have felt. At
I
that
would have
moment.
heard
I
that.
would have Take Me to the King.
I
Ain't
would
got
have
time for
gone back to
this.
Fedra
No,
and just
no.
let
I'm
them.
crying.
Yeah, I
Did
would
you
have
see
rather
that?
been taken out than. Okay, so now we can get into episode 2.
Yeah.
So we have made it through episode 1. I don't know how we made it through, but we did.
We did. And good timing too. All right,
So
episode 2.
you go ahead, Fox. Do you want to lead with your thoughts on episode
Yes.
2? Oh,
I want to talk about the beginning because it takes us. It kind of puts us in the perspective of not America, which I kind of love.
mhm.
Because it reminds this is not just like a national. This is a global.
Yes.
This is a global situation,
Mhm.
Global
and
threat.
somehow this thing has spread just like any other virus. But it's the fact that it's still fungal and there's
Corona.
still like a root. Don't do that.
Don't do that. It's still too soon.
I'm sorry, but it's the
Did she just disappear because of that? She couldn't handle it.
Tony told you I could barely watch the show as is, especially episode 2, because I started hearing the stuff clicking in my kitchen and stuff. Like, not
Oh,
Right?
today,
Get you paranoid. Got you paranoid. I'm like, what is that?
not today. But we see another perspective, like with the doctor and how she's looking at the specimen with all her knowledge, saying this can't possibly be transmuted to like humans and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
mm,
well, come look at here, and she
Ugh.
literally uses what's it called? Uh, her knife. What's the knife called? Scalpel,
Oh,
and cuts. Y'all
I
didn't
was
help me.
like
She
knife. I
uses the
don't know.
scalpel and cuts open the leg to see fungus,
Oh yeah.
all
Ugh.
that fungus
not
in his leg. That
blood,
that looked
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
not
That did.
muscle.
I
That
might
was straight
pass out
nasty.
reliving this. I know.
Right?
How did
Can't
that make
Yeah,
handle
that
y'all
was
feel?
nasty.
It looked insane. That fungus in the leg, like so the whole all the muscle it just
The
turned
whole
into
body.
fungus. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. The bone is gone, the flesh is gone, just fungus.
I hate
Wait,
this.
what?
I hate reliving this.
Yeah.
I'm
But
Mhm.
it
sorry.
gives it like this is like the big change from the game,
Hmm.
right? This is something
Mm-hmm.
that they
Yeah.
created that has
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
masterfully,
tentacles.
yeah,
Hmm.
They said
Yeah.
that
yeah,
spores wouldn't have been realistic because if spores get in the air, more than likely everybody's getting infected. So just
Yeah.
Yeah, and then too, I'm glad that they didn't do that because I was thinking it was gonna be the spores, and I was telling my husband I was like they need to be wearing masks, but I don't need. I'm sorry, I don't need another show where everybody wearing masks.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
That
it's
part.
too real for us, so I'm glad that I'm sure they also considered that like that'll give people a break from the reality of
I believe that is something
COVID.
they said early when they was developing the show. I,
Okay.
mm,
I believe that is something that it was like they would change because of Corona and everything. So
Hmm. And the tentacles are gross enough, so
yeah, no,
Uh,
that's nasty.
it's
That's
just
really
Hmm.
the
nasty.
fact that she pulled him out and then started reaching towards
yeah.
her.
yeah, she
Woo!
got the whew, she
Got
got
out
out of there.
of there. You can't walk. I ain't
And it
never
was
seen
a
nobody
lot
run
because
that
she
fast.
pulled out some, and there was still some
It's still
crawling out
Hmm.
just
the
It was
mouth.
coming
Yeah.
out.
I was like, the body's dead at this point, and it's still there. I'm like,
yeah.
There's no telling
that's
that could have
that's nasty.
caused that could have caused contamination within that area just because she pulled it out.
You're
There's no
right.
Hmm.
telling because they're
Hmm.
living and now like it's
Hmm.
like separated and they're fine. You know what I'm saying? Like
They're trying to
Hmm.
just
find their own
one
path.
small
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing could just
I'm
mm,
gonna just kind of, I'm gonna just say this one point. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Fox, and I'm gonna let
Hmm.
you
you're fine.
continue. But the scariest part to me in this whole scene, besides the fact that he's like, "What do we do?" She's like, "I've done this my whole life. There is no
Hmm.
vaccine. There is no cure. You need to bomb." But
Move
also, when
fire.
she said, "Who bit her?" Like the chillingness of that, you have this woman who attacked all these people, and those people had to be taken out, but like who bit her, you don't know. You just like, that's why she's just like, you just gotta just take
Gotta
yourself
Where's
let
Yeah.
it
out.
happen.
patient zero?
Yeah. She was
Yeah,
like,
There is
Hmm.
exactly.
none, yeah.
and she
Hmm.
was asking.
14 people.
Yeah, she was like asking the guy. She was like, "So who got bit?" He was like, "Was there anybody else?" He was like, "Yeah, it was like three others. Like the whole,
Mm-hmm.
like the factory."
She said 14
Yeah,
people
14
are
people
missing. I
14,
was
yeah,
like,
are
14
yeah,
are
yeah,
missing, yeah.
missing.
14.
oh, it's quiet. I was like, yep,
You
She
know
that
was
how
like,
much
factory
that has
over with.
spread?
she was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And it was
"Yo,
a flower factory too.
yeah."
So
She was
like,
like,
yep,
Hmm.
"Bomb the city, man. I just want to go home and be with my family."
Yeah.
yep,
Because
That part.
yeah.
she like, it's
It,
over.
we about to
it's,
get
Mm-hmm.
packed up.
it's
So
over. I just want to go home and be with my family.
Yeah, and the bombing thing too. It kind of because there were like spots within the game, whatever, where there were like the giant holes or whatever, which
Mm-hmm.
we
Mhm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
assumed
Mhm.
was a bomb. But them kind of taking this moment to kind of expand on that, like we talked about with
Mm-hmm.
episode one, them expanding on stuff. And so I like that they added that. It was like, yeah, they started bombing some of the major cities to try to at least slow it and
Yeah.
stuff. So it was kind of interesting just getting that extra
Yeah.
flavor, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
to the
mhm.
world building.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
just
probably
think
slow
of
it down, but
the level of contamination. Like a flour factory. Can you just and then like you're at a
I don't want
restaurant,
to
ain't no telling
imagine.
how many people in the restaurant already got it. It's just I
Yeah,
saw a cat.
grandma had her
I think
biscuits.
everybody in the restaurant had it at that point.
They
I
had
know.
to.
Hmm.
They had to. Because there's no
Mm.
Those
telling
biscuits
how it
still
could
look
have
dry.
started. Is it just a bite mark? Can it be through? Well, obviously, it's through food too. Because
Mm.
grandma up here eating cookies and stuff. Now she can't even. Now she the Harlem shaking her way through
Yo,
zombie land.
I can't with y'all and this Harlem shaking.
Mm.
Now she can't even eat a biscuit.
Nah, she was going.
You
She was
already
really going
gone up and
crazy. That
Mm,
yonder,
was
Grandma's
wild.
buttermilk biscuits. Don't trust it.
grandma.
I
Mm.
need that recipe for real.
I want that. Not that one.
Let me get that
Right. I
Not
don't know
recipe.
that
about that
recipe.
one. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, nah.
Anyway,
You
it
don't
looked
want
good.
that.
They ain't done all the way. It look,
Unseasoned.
yeah,
That's
man.
what
Where the
it
butter?
was. That's what
Where the
it.
butter at?
No butter.
No
There was
butter.
no butter on that biscuit, baby.
Look a little wet.
Uh,
So after
um,
we see our doctor friend and she warns or tells them pretty much to bomb the city, then we get
Yeah,
back to our main characters right now. So they are posted up in a building. I don't remember what kind of building it was. And we didn't talk about the most important thing that happened at the end of the first episode is that before he killed the guard, or in his moment of killing the guard, Tess sees that the test for Ellie was red, insinuating that
mm-hmm.
yeah.
she was infected. It was very important. Um, but we don't have an explanation as to why she is okay but infected, unless you know the game, but assuming a lot of people don't, until the second episode. So now they are watching her. They already didn't trust her. They were looking at her as a means of getting out and getting to Tommy. Getting a
Mm-hmm.
vehicle particularly. But now she is a threat. So
gotta
I'm
take her
just
out.
setting the scene. Rob, do you want to talk about this scene? I'm just looking and picking at random.
Yeah, so it was kind of yeah, just interesting, just like you said, just kind of like okay, little Ellie napping and stuff, and then she wakes up, she's like, oh, another beautiful day, and then oh Lord, why y'all got guns in my face?
Right.
So, but yeah, that whole situation, which yeah, I definitely can't imagine being on either side of that,
Mhm.
of like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm immune. I don't know why, but
Mhm.
but then on the flip side, being like, man, we done seen lots of crazy stuff over these 20 years. I ain't gonna trust this little girl who's supposedly immune,
Mhm.
so yeah, it was just a very interesting kind of just awakening,
Right.
literally.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And then too, I'm really asking this, but there's a part where they ask her where she got bit, and she says it was in an old abandoned mall. I didn't
Mhm.
watch or play the DLC, but I'm assuming that is when she's with her best friend from high school.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who
That's
was
what
played
happened.
by Stormy Reed in the show.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. No,
Oh,
they're gonna touch back on that part.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna
saw
okay.
touch
her
back
in the
on that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't want to
Okay.
say anything. They're gonna show ya.
Hmm.
Well, then I might cut that out, but
Mm.
we'll see how I feel. Um, so yeah, so now they are aware that Marlene was trying to get her west
Hmm.
because she is presumably, at that point they don't really know,
Yeah.
but that she is immune because she has been bitten and it obviously did not spread or do anything. It just looked like a regular old bite mark.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now they're leaving out. They leave out of this building, and the city looks insane. And it looks just like the game. That's the crazy thing. It looks
Just like
so much like the game. One of my favorite parts about the show, they did it in episode 1 when Tommy, when they were trying to get over and Joel was holding Sarah, and there was like that blockage between him and Tommy.
Hmm.
Video games, they always do that, like, I can't get to you. I'm gonna just go around. They did it so where it wasn't cheesy. And it
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
again when Tess is like, I can fit up there. and I have to
Yeah.
maneuver through so we can find a way around. I think that
Mhm.
they did
Yeah.
that very
Boost me
well.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
right.
Press triangle to boost me up.
Yeah. Exactly. And then they see a very horrific sight when they get up into the building and they look out. They see. Does anybody want to share?
Travis P.
Sunbathing infected.
Whoop.
Yes, it was so
Mm.
gross.
Like,
They would just own each other.
Yeah, nah, they was once they
Yo.
when they said they were connected, that's why I was like,
Yeah,
the hell, like
Yeah.
that's different.
they
I'm like,
just laid
okay.
up.
Mm.
booed
Yeah.
up.
He was nasty.
Alexa
That was
play booed up
nasty.
by LMA because that's exactly what was going on over there.
No,
Mm-hmm.
that was different. That was different.
Yeah. How did
Mm.
that make you feel, Peaches? Because I saw your face.
I
Like,
know.
how did that make you feel?
'Cause I had to read like it's reading in my head again. That was disgusting.
That was just see
Yeah.
them all just writhing
And
in
then when the
Yeah.
sun
motion.
was like moving,
It
shaking,
They
like,
were
was. So I'm like,
good. Lord,
stop. It was terrible. It was just like it when it came on. My mom walked to the room. She goes, "Yo, Nick, what are you watching?" I'm like, "Mama, let me explain." Because
I can
I'm
explain,
lost
Mama.
too.
I can explain.
It was terrible. It was. I was no. That was.
yeah.
I'm
Do
speechless.
y'all
That's how
think
it
that
goes.
this show is doing a good job at making us uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh hell
Yes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Very.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Very.
Yeah, it's like as we've some of us kind of said before, it's like even knowing some of the beats that are coming, I
Yeah.
think that has been what's been so good about the show so far with these both these episodes of it is a great watch for people that have played the game as well as
Mm-hmm.
new people because
Yeah.
even we coming in like okay, we think we know how things are gonna go. And yes, they still gonna hit like those big story beats, but some of the smaller details in between, they switched up some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
expanded on some
Mm-hmm.
other things, and so it's still fresh to us, even though we might have played the game or watched it played or
Right.
whatever. It is still something new to experience for both sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad they went the fungal route because no one was expecting seeing like, oh, they're all connected. You touch a
Mm-hmm.
line here, it awakens a horde over there. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
new level of fear. Like I watch my stuff because I don't want to step in old gum. Now I gotta
Right.
watch my stuff because I don't want to touch a piece of mushroom
I'm
from
about to
East
say, yeah, take
Asia.
it off your pizza.
They coming over here overseas. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like I can't eat mushroom pizza no more. But
Mushrooms are gross in general. Ugh.
Yeah, they are. I'm
Yeah.
on you with that one.
Factual.
Thank you.
Oh, Fox's
She said,
face.
"I'm not." She said, "I'm not here for the mushroom slander, man."
Sorry, Fox.
Sorry.
Have you seen how they grow fox? Have
I
you
don't
seen them?
care. I don't
Let's
care.
let's
They
just
are
look at
delicious,
them in the wild. Disgusting.
nutritious.
Disgusting. Who looks at that and
I'm
says,
so
"I want to eat that"?
Me.
Delicious.
yummy.
Nom nom a purr. Very that. Very
Do you want
that.
to eat the ones the fungus that's in The Last of
Absolutely
Us?
not. Am I? I'm not slow, cat.
The clickers have that chicken of the woods on his face, doesn't
I
it?
don't want none of
Chicken out
that.
of woods.
That's what it looks like.
Mm-mm,
No,
no.
thank you.
Chicken out of woods.
God, no.
Crazy.
Speaking of, like seeing the first clipper or clicker, I
Mhm.
I
No,
look
they
just
deserve an award for that.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
ooh,
they nailed that
That was
down.
perfect. They had it
Yeah.
all the way down to the sound. I'm
It,
like,
the
oh.
walk,
that
the
clicker
Sound
look.
battle.
terrifying.
Oh my
They
Yeah,
failed
the
god.
the
walk
stealth
is
mission.
terrible. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
Oh my
Yeah, they
god.
failed. Yeah, they
they
I
failed.
failed the
said I
stealth
could.
mission.
Ooh, I was hyperventilating.
That
Mm-hmm.
scene was so like I couldn't handle it. I
But
think I had to
you
fall
know what I
asleep.
did like though, and the one particular part of that scene is like when they all kind of split up and Joel is like shooting at him, but then he's like, "Oh, I gotta reload the revolver," and it's like the clicker's coming around the corner, and he's like, "I gotta be quiet loading this gun because if
Hmm.
I make
Yeah.
too many noise, he's still gonna hear me trying to load this." I love it because it's again that's something else in the game. It's like if the clicker's
Hmm.
that close and you do anything,
You over with.
Nah,
you're
just
done.
like the little part when him and Ellie got together and he crouched, and they were kind of like trying to go
Oh
around
yeah.
Crab
the
walk
thing, and
and
the clicker was screaming. I'm like, that happens
Mhm.
in the game. And
Yeah.
Ellie made that little no, Joel made that little noise, and the clicker just jumped over. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo. In the
Yeah.
video game, if a clicker grabs you, it's game over. I'm not just
You
like that's
you
why I
is.
love
Yeah.
Last of Us so much because it's realistic as hell. Like if a
Yeah.
clicker grabs you, unless you have a shiv, but they don't have that in the show, obviously.
Not
If you
not
don't have a
yet.
shiv, you're
Yeah,
not
that's what I
yet.
done.
was like.
Yeah,
That's
Like
what they
you are
need.
gone. Like I'm like, oh, Joe, come on, don't respawn early,
I know
bro.
y'all was
Like,
like, God,
Don't
God.
respawn early.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, I'm almost betting that before this season is over, they're gonna go through a drawer and
Oh
pull out
yeah.
the duct tape,
Oh
and
yeah.
Ellie's gonna be like, "What is that?" And Joe's like, "A shiv."
shit. He's like, I got something for these clickers
And then
now.
that's when that second light bulb gonna pop up in her head.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nah, if they don't bring
Also,
out the crafting table, guys, we riot. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
If they don't bring
Yeah,
out the crafting table,
he
Yeah.
got
we riot.
he gotta craft the AR-15 that he picked up
Toss
from the
the
guard.
backpack on the
We need
table
we need the
and
spike bat real quick with the thumbtacks. We need all that. I
ooh,
need him going
Oh
like
yeah,
this to
speaking
make a
of
mad kid.
Joe,
I need to see
Joe got that
all that.
assault rifle early. You know what I'm saying? You
Feel
didn't get it that early in the game. You know
Hello.
what I'm saying? He got that drink
That I
early.
did remember.
He was like, I need
I
to get
think
this.
in the clicker type of scene, not being able to see Tess let me know that something
Mhm.
happened to her.
Yeah.
Also, she wasn't limping. No, she said she hurt her ankle.
Yeah,
Her pain came
mhm.
from when
Yeah.
she was trying to grab onto the
Yeah.
ladder with her shoulder, not from her limping.
I was
And
watching
so,
it with
Mhm.
Jade Charms,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to spoil it for. I was like, you loving so many characters in Last of Us right now, and I'm just like, Last of Us is like Game of Thrones. Don't love someone.
Don't love
yeah,
nobody.
You don't
Right.
like somebody?
Exactly.
Look, this is like Game of Thrones. This is not the show for you to like someone. Don't
Right.
like people. Be
yeah,
like,
Everything,
you know what? We want to watch and see how their story is gonna go, but don't like them.
everything is
Just
gotta
heartbreaking.
watch
don't
Yeah.
invest
cautiously
your heart and soul and be like, I love you, because then
Everything
because
is
they'll be here
heartbreaking.
today and gone up yonder tomorrow.
mhm,
Okay.
Cause yeah,
just
when Silent P saw it, he was like, "Why do I have a feeling she's not gonna survive?" I went, "Whoops, sorry,
Yeah,
baby."
I
and
don't want to tell you, but
me personally, I was hoping that maybe, just maybe, we got one more episode with Tess. But when it was like they going to the museum, I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yep.
hope this
yeah.
happens.
Once the clicker battle happened, I was like,
They didn't show
just like you
anything from
said, the
her.
split up. I was
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
that
When
was it for
that
me.
was it. Yeah.
I said, oh yeah, she going,
And she said
she gonna
like
beat
Yeah,
her
no,
my
to
when the,
see she
ankle,
like I
going.
said,
my
the moment
ankle's
when they said they was
twisted.
going to the museum, I was like, I was like, it's happening. It's going to happen. I was like, it's over.
Let's split up,
I
gang.
was like, they really did this in the second episode, though. They didn't.
Yeah.
You're right. Like we didn't get a third one. Y'all said we really gonna give y'all like the game. Like we gonna give Tess her 1 hour of fame, and that's it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so sad because I love that actress. She plays on one of my favorite shows,
Yeah,
and then you
Fringe.
kind of
Anybody
made
watch
it seem
Fringe?
like they was in a
I
relationship.
have.
I thought it was so much depth
Fringes.
now. Because when y'all play, if y'all play the game, I'm sorry to keep saying the game, but when you play the game, they're
It's
not a
okay.
couple. They're
Yeah.
not a couple. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they like allude to that, but they're not a couple. Like Tess says something weird, and then it's whatever. But like in the
the
show, they slept in the bed together. You know, he
Mhm.
kind of getting emotional. She don't want to show her face. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
this is what we wanted to confirm. Like,
Yeah.
thank you. Like,
What do we
like,
want to see?
like, damn, we knew that was Joe's girlfriend, man. Stop playing. Like, you saw how my boy had to grab up Ellie and be like, listen, I gotta leave my girl behind. Don't talk to me
Oh,
right now. Let's
yeah.
Yeah.
leave. You talking about you don't want to leave with me? I'm leaving my girl. Like,
Right.
I was
That's
like,
two people.
oh,
That's two people
She
already, and the
she
possible
is
third.
she is bit.
that
And
was,
then
Yeah.
oh
And
man.
the
And
way
they
that she
changed
looked at him while
and
he
they
was wrapping
changed her
her up.
death, guys, by
yeah,
the
they
way.
changed her death.
For
Mhm.
people who
Yeah.
haven't played the game, they changed her death. By the
And
way.
Yeah.
that made it so much more emotional because that's what I wanted.
Exactly.
That's
I
what I
didn't
Exactly.
wanted
see
to see.
I
it.
like this death compared to her
Woo!
game death. This
Yeah,
death is crazy. I'm not
Speaking of
even gonna
death,
lie. She
because
it,
all
seemed
right,
pointless. She seemed kind of pointless in the game, guys. That's why I'm loving the TV series because
yeah,
Yeah. They gave her
characters
more.
they invest like Sarah. I love Sarah even in the game because it made
yeah,
Joel. But you
Mhm.
really invested in Sarah. You like,
Yeah.
oh, she's really probably gonna,
Mhm.
and then boom, then like Tess, you like you said, Trav. She may make the third episode. Nah.
no,
but when you see Tess
Damn,
in the
like
show, like she's really the rock. Like she's like, get yourself together, Joel. And she
Mhm.
Like
was
I
like
really
kind
want
of
y'all to see
guiding him.
these parts that make Joel. Like I really
Yeah.
want y'all to see these
Yeah.
parts that descend my boy's mental health. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh
It's
man.
crazy. But
Yeah.
while we talking about it, let's talk about the trap, the natural trap. Um,
Mm.
that they try to run to safety, but they step on something they weren't supposed to step on. And that same
Yeah.
sunbathing horde that we saw earlier is
And
the
right
one that
before
wakes
that,
up.
Chase them.
we have so how we get to this scene is they have made it to the rendezvous point.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, nobody is present, and then we see one dead body and a trail of blood, which leads us into the building,
Yeah.
where
Oh,
we
I got
see
excited about
several. Yeah, several. A lot happens in this episode for it to be much shorter than the first.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so what is it's a it seems that someone got infected, then it was just take everybody
Chaos.
out
Yeah.
type
Chaos.
thing. Yeah, just chaos. Exactly, that's a good way of putting it. Chaos. And so they assume everybody is dead. Um, dead, I guess, is kind of like I don't know if you want to use that word, but they assume that everybody's taken out and that nothing can get them. But Ellie gets attacked. And so in this moment where they take out this guy who has been infected, now the horde has been alerted. And we see the little tendrils wrapping around his fingers, notifying them through their nervous system that hey, we have some non-infected. And here they come.
Look
And
at him
Joel
snitching.
says we have about less than a minute. Horrible. And so yes, as we just talked about, it is revealed that Tess has been bitten, and she knows that this is where when she says that she
Show
has to
me.
stay. Yeah, yeah, she
Yeah.
does it. She's
I mean,
like,
ooh.
This is my last stop.
and then
Yep.
Oh
she
I'm
shows
shit.
dying,
Ellie's
guys.
arm.
She's infected.
Yeah, she shows Ellie's
Show
arm
me.
because that's what made her like. She was like, I want to have hope." But when she saw how fast she was going compared to Ellie, who had gotten bit again by the
Mhm.
clickers, she said, "Better me than any of y'all, either one of y'all." But unfortunately,
Mhm.
so
This
she
is
sees
real,
the
Joel.
difference. Yeah.
She was bitten weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
feeling like a mushroom already.
Yeah.
All right?
Well,
No. I felt so bad. I was like, God
I
damn.
know.
Damn. Like,
Fox
oh
trying to put me on her
man.
pizza right now.
Yo! Hey, yo, now I was the
Oh
only one to say I
man.
like mushrooms. Hey, wow, tell y'all nothing, man. That's
Yes.
what y'all need to know. Man, I be trying to live my life wrong. Hey,
We got you with that one. That was
you
good.
got me good, man. I gotta watch out for you. I gotta watch out for you.
Rob was on it.
He always got that
He
I'm
dog
was
in him.
sorry.
ready with that one. No, no, don't be sorry. That was
Man, I'm sorry, bro. That was good.
Oh,
That was
good.
oh man.
Okay, so the horde has arrived.
yes.
And now what happens?
Okay,
Let's
so
get to our, let's get to
I wanted
everybody's
to clear
favorite
up what I
part.
said earlier, as in like I wasn't meaning that they actually stepped on. I mean that like stepped in the area that was basically a trap. Because no
Mhm.
matter where they would have turned, that would have been the point where they would have faced the horde. And that's what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Continue on.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the way I
And yeah,
said it made
they
it sound
they
like I haven't
and
watched
like
the
you said,
show.
they knew they
Yeah.
like before they walked into the museum. He already,
Mm-hmm.
he went through that. He was like,
Yeah,
if we step on anything,
Yeah.
these veins,
yeah.
this
But I
nervous
was
system form.
Yeah, I was just saying that they didn't actually step on it, but they
Yeah.
Oh
stepped
yeah,
into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just me. That's just
I
I
took it
mean
as
yeah,
that you meant stepped into.
Yeah.
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 okay.
But you had to correct yourself
I had to
for
correct myself
yourself.
because it was eating me up. I was like, they're gonna think that I don't know nothing about the game. Watch the
No,
show.
we
Oh,
know.
we got what
Nah,
you
We
nah,
meant. We
know.
know
I
what you
literate.
meant.
we got what you meant.
I literate.
I promise I know.
I know.
I know the beats.
But yes, as Cat saying the herd is coming. They have like
Mhm.
less than a minute.
Man.
And Tess has a plan that she is going to blow this joint up. She
Make
Mhm.
sure she
can't get
has
them.
some.
I know this
Oh
is
my
this me being
god.
like, yeah, I know it's necessary for a show and it always has to happen. And she didn't have time to test it. But I'm like, before you decided to dump gasoline everywhere, you didn't want to see if your lighter worked. But that's just me. That's just me being nitpicky. Cause
Or
You
just
should have.
keep her under those grenades you toss on the ground
yeah,
as
thank you.
Yeah.
backup.
I thought that's what she was
Mhm.
gonna use.
That's what I thought she was gonna
Yeah,
use
that's what I
too.
thought she was going to. I thought she was going like,
Cause I
fuck
really,
it.
yeah, but no,
And just
she
die for the drink and just
the
Yeah.
whole time. And I'm like, baby, it's not lighting. It's not. Let
Yeah,
it
they
Would
made
would
her
go.
get.
would
They made
would
that
have been better
zombie.
with some
Well, that infected
matches.
get all the way on
Yes.
her before
yeah.
she dropped that lighter.
She
I
needed
was
Yes.
some
He was
like,
like,
matches.
hey,
damn.
he's like, you little sexy little thing right
That
there.
Okay, yeah. So
He
let's
smelled.
get
Nah,
into
he
it.
smelt
He
that.
was
He
he was
smelt
like,
that infection off her. He was like,
Right,
Thank you.
cause
Okay.
Oh,
That's what I said, Messiah.
the girl infected stopped first, right? She
Hmm.
stopped and she looked and she's like, and then he
Yeah.
walked over, was like, oh yeah, she is kind of cute. How you doing? Hey, what's good, baby? You one of us now.
you one
Yeah.
of us.
I mean, he
You're a
said, Joe, I
victim.
got your
Yeah, right.
girl. I'm like,
You're a
damn, man.
victim.
And yes,
Oh,
the
the
kiss
kiss of death.
of death. And
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was.
what
And you
makes it
just
even grosser to me than the fact that this he kissed her is that I imagine that he was just trying to connect with the tendrils in her throat.
yeah,
That's
Mm-hmm.
so nasty.
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
mhm.
But that's what make the scene like so much heartbreaking, much
Yes.
more heartbreaking from the game. Cause like, and the game was like, damn, why
Hmm.
happening to you? But it's like in the game, she was killed by Fedra because she didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
die as an infected, knowing that
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
was it was already starting.
Right.
But now in the show, it's the horde that's coming, and she just
Mhm.
don't want to be infected and have them also possibly get attacked by them while doing so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like you said, the zombie come up. He kissed her in the mouth to try to, I guess, speed up the infection, and you could see the horror and like
Yeah.
disgust in her face, and it's like she already can't move. She's trying to flick the lighter.
I mean, you see her start changing, like her eye, in her eyes. You start seeing
Yeah,
her
like her
start
eyes
changing. Like
roll
that's why
back
I
in her
was
head and
like,
stuff. Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
please. I was like, please, light. I was like,
right.
drop the lighter. Like, drop it.
And
Like,
she finally got it in, I guess, the last moment of probably of her consciousness,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and was able to drop the lighter and stop the horde.
Now, do you
Oh.
think that they chose to, were they, besides trying to make it a little bit
He's
different
just
from the
so
game? I know she having a hard time over there.
Ooh,
um,
disgusting.
it's
yeah,
disgusting. Like the
it's real gross.
tentacles and all.
It's so gross. But do y'all
Mhm.
think
Mm.
that they use this as a way of showing the viewers how fast it can spread? Because
Yeah,
she really didn't have a lot of time. We see her changing. We see that they feel connected to her now. So this is really,
A matter of minutes.
yeah, a matter of minutes. So
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
using this as a plot device to show us this is how
Mhm.
fast it can happen. Do y'all
right.
agree or
That
disagree?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did, and
Mhm.
it's hard to keep saying because
Oh,
they did
the
confirm it on the
I need to
podcast with the
listen to it.
directors. Yeah, it's really good, and they're not super long either. They kind of keep it on point and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, whatever. So, but yeah, they did confirm that was a change that they made, just to kind of like pretty much like what you just said, Ken, was just like
Mm-hmm.
showing the comparisons of okay, Ellie's been bit
Mm-hmm.
again. Tess just got bit. Okay, you got two people that got bit
Right.
at the same time frame. Okay, hey,
Comparing,
yes,
yeah.
Ellie is
Mm-hmm.
hmm
different, and so yeah, that is why they
So this time Joe can
did
see
that.
it with his own eyes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
this the
mm-hmm.
difference. Like Tess
yeah.
already started.
What was that? What did she do?
She about to Harlem
I
Shake.
was thinking she
Yeah,
finna
that's
Mhm.
crazy.
That's that Michael Jackson.
Right.
Anyway, yeah,
That
that is.
that thriller.
That's
No,
what she was doing while he
that
was
was crazy. That
the
was
mouth. That's
crazy.
exactly what she was
I see,
doing.
Joe. You better get it.
Mm.
Okay, somebody been playing the Michael Jackson experience. I see you.
Nah,
Mhm.
I seen that video a lot. I seen that video a lot, especially when I was a kid. Like, I probably know
Yeah,
more of that choreography than I should.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
ain't
I used
nothing
to
wrong
know
with
the
that.
Smooth Criminal
Nothing wrong with that, bro.
Okay,
choreography because it's such a good dance.
it
Have
is a
y'all
good
seen
dance.
it lately? Wow, the
Have you
talent.
seen the 4K video of it?
Oh,
No.
I gotta look it up.
So
Okay.
yes, they they
Put it on
took
my watch later.
they took that video. Well, it took a couple of his videos, I believe, but Thriller was one of them, and they revamped it in 4K because film they're able to do that as opposed to digital.
Mhm.
So yeah, since they did it on film, they was able to.
That might
Okay,
scare me a little
bet.
bit.
Upscale it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that
It
out.
looks
Yeah, I
so
just
much
got.
cleaner. You see so much more that you see so much more in the 4K version that you didn't see in the original. He's like, that happened. It almost felt like Mandela effect.
What?
Man, man.
So before we move on, I have a
Mhm.
couple questions to ask. Foxy, are you okay with me answering the questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. You had text me back, but I didn't know what you meant.
I said let do it.
Oh,
Oh, let do it.
that's not what you sent. But
But yes.
anyways, that's what you meant. Okay, that's why I sent you the question mark.
So we're gonna get to it eventually. So she'll ask me again.
I was like, I'm just gonna have to ask on here. Okay, so where I'm gonna ask this in kind of a weird way, and anybody who wants to answer it, feel free to. But we've talked a lot about how the show deviates from the game, and that a lot of those changes have been necessary.
Mhm.
But do you think that there's a part in the game, just not spoiling too much, but if there's a part in the game you can think of that you want them to keep, that you feel like is very important for the story, so that the show needs to maintain that plot, if that makes
I'll go
sense?
first.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say. I don't even have to say too much to get crazy.
Mhm.
There's gonna come a point where they are in winter and Joel is injured. I'm not gonna tell you how.
Mhm.
Mm,
But
Mhm.
it is going to really explore Ellie's dynamic in her
Mhm.
character, and she's gonna be forced for the first time in this scenario to have to deal with something without Joel.
mhm.
Mhm.
And by the time Joel arrives, after all this happens, Ellie would have dealt with it, but it's gonna take its toll. So I'm not
Right.
gonna say too much, but the winter expansion of Last of Us, they should keep that exactly how it is, add its little flavor, but
Mhm.
keep
Hmm.
it exactly how it is. Don't change
Yeah,
that.
that
That's
don't need
that's
to change.
Ellie's character development. Don't change that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh, Rob, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like in general, especially like with moments like that winter thing that Vasai was just talking about, I think that most of the things that I would be worried about is stuff that they're gonna pretty much leave intact. At least like because just based off of what they've done these first two episodes, it's kind of giving me pretty good confidence that they will stay true in the spots that they need to. Because I can't really think of anything else that really they might would change, because everything
Mhm.
else is practical enough to where I don't see where they would have to make some type of weird
Mhm.
diversion to make it fit better for TV or whatever. Because I know that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing a lot of people have talked about with this series in general over the years of how cinematic it is, and people
Hmm.
always joked about like it might as well be a TV show, not a video game. Well, hey,
Yeah.
Here you
Mm-hmm.
You
go.
got it.
now you got it and stuff. So, but yeah, I feel like most of those big moments, key moments, I should say, will pretty much stay intact.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Rob and Pasaya, especially the winter portion. That was like
Mhm.
Ellie's coming of like who she is and who she needed to be. It's two
Mm-hmm.
different scenarios
Mhm.
that
And who
only
she's
she could have
gonna
done.
be.
Who she's
Yeah.
gonna be. Got
Exactly.
that dog, get
Mhm.
out.
That's when I first started But when I first learned
Okay.
about the game, I walked in on somebody at the time I was dating him. He was playing it, and I came over, and that was that whole art. And I just sat there and watched it, and I was like, "This is so good." And then I
Mm-hmm.
went back and watched some gameplay. Markiplier.
Marketplace.
Funny little thing I just thought about because you talking about like watching somebody play and stuff, whatever. And we talking about the winter scene or whatever. Are they gonna have the shots with the rabbit? And the reason why they came to mind is I don't know if y'all ever seen that clip of the girl that was playing the game on Twitch, whatever, and she's like, "Oh, it's a cute bunny."
Nice.
Matter of fact, yeah, they need to have
Well,
Yeah, they need to
that.
have that.
They need to have
They
that.
got to
So I
keep
wonder
that.
is like did that episode gonna open up with
yeah, I
that?
think, and
Nah,
yeah,
they should keep that. They should keep that.
they should keep
Yeah.
it all. I
So
think
You
yeah.
should get
So
I'm
from
sure
over
they
there.
will.
Peaches,
Okay.
Travis, y'all good?
Mhm.
I agree with them.
Yeah, I mean,
The winter seems good.
I don't really think. Yeah, like kind of like Rob was saying, I don't think the moments, the big moments, they're not really going to change too much from or divert from. Because like I know outside of the winter expansion, the other part is when they run into the hunters for the first time.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
that's what I want to see. Because now it's like y'all don't just have the horde threat, y'all got
Hmm.
the hunters, and and they're just a wild group in general. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're going to get into the depths of like who they are as
Hmm.
people, you know. But
I hope so.
They got a lot to do in
That's
this
got a lot to do.
A
They got the
lot.
in this
budget. They
nine
got the
episodes.
budget.
They do.
They
They
got the
do.
budget.
It looks like they're gonna do the first duo that we're gonna see in Bill and Frank. They're gonna do that duo well. I'm
Yeah.
also
Hmm.
last thing, just a little sidebar. I'm hoping they do. There's one more duo they're gonna run into. I hope they do them
mm,
justice as well.
mm,
Their arc is also good for Joel and Ellie in themselves because you're gonna really learn what happens if you fuck up when you make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
Yeah.
lose really fucking big. So it's like those two elements for me in Last of Us were like those broke my heart seeing that.
yeah.
That's up there with Sarah dying. Those top three moments of Last of
Oh, I'm a
Us.
cry big T.
Because nothing else,
I'm a
nothing else
ball,
in Last
bro.
of Us, all the way to the end of Last of Us, we're not even gonna talk about, but nothing in Last of Us be up even the last part of Last of Us. But those three moments I'm saying to y'all,
Yeah,
those had me in my feels like,
I'm a ball. I'm a
Yeah.
ball, bro.
like,
Like when that happened, I'm a ball. I'm a
like,
cry big tears.
damn, this is really
Big
permanent.
tears.
Like, you're gonna have me up there with Glenn getting killed in Walking Dead, bro. I don't
Yeah,
even know.
So
Like,
I'm
yeah.
so glad you said that because actually my next question
Mhm.
is how do y'all think this show in particular compares to shows like The Walking Dead? Other I mean, I can't really think of a lot of other post-apocalyptic shows. I would
Mhm.
say The Walking Dead is the biggest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
when it comes to like with Walking Dead, it has that permanent aspect to it. Like,
Mhm.
you're this person dies, like they're gone. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
There's no coming back, and it's like the stakes are just so much higher, and it's like both of those shows you want, and then it's like you have to remember that people are still human throughout
Mhm.
these situations, and they make human decisions, and even in the innocence of those human decisions, bad shit happens, and it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
Walking Dead from Rick waking up to Sarah dying.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yo, like, yo, nah, like it's about to get. It automatically has you ready, glued, and ready to see what the hell is gonna happen next.
Mhm.
Like, yo, like, wow.
You know, I was watching this TikTok where somebody was saying they were curious how many viewers The Walking Dead lost when Glenn and Abraham died.
They lost me
Yeah. Lost
4 million, and
me.
they never got them back.
and didn't.
Mhm.
Never got
I
them
ain't
back.
watched
They
another
said
episode.
it
Yo,
went
'cause
from like 17 million on that episode. The next week was 13 million, and after and since
it
that
just
episode, it's
steadily
kind of
dropped.
stayed in that. Yeah.
Can I ask one question really quickly to you
Hmm.
guys? if you don't mind. Okay. So we're watching the Last of Us right now,
Mm.
and for there are people who've played the game and there's people who haven't. Now, y'all are aware that Walking Dead is a comic book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
are aware that Walking Dead stuck to its source material and
Yes.
killed Glenn off,
Some
right?
things
Yes.
need to
So
change.
I'm
Hmm.
just
Okay.
like,
They
why
should
the
have
No,
made
no,
why
no,
Glenn
no, no,
no,
no,
fine.
no,
for the
no,
people
no.
who left? No, for the people
No,
who left.
I
Why?
left.
They should
Why?
have made
Because
Glenn
It
fine.
followed the
because
source
it
material.
found the
because
source, but it is also a lot of people who
hmm
weren't aware of the comic, and
They shouldn't
Glenn
make Glenn
was,
fine.
that's
Oh,
that's really
okay.
it.
they were there
So
for
then
That's
that's
Last
funny.
of Us might go through
it, it.
the same thing.
It may, but the only difference is the Last of Us is a shorter series
Hmm
than Walking Dead, so it's like people not going to get as much time. They're
Yeah,
probably
Because
going to get an
people die
episode
in
or two.
Last of Us.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you might get
but
invested in
the
yeah.
somebody
I
in
think
season
the
one.
Oh yeah,
They're gonna
aversion.
die.
people. No, I'm saying people are going to get invested, but I think for the fact that Glenn was around so long in the
That's the
series
Glenn
thing.
was
before his
around.
death,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
people was like truly
They
invested
yeah.
in Glenn.
They
So
made you
when it
invest more
happened,
in him.
when it happened, it was just
You
like,
talking about yeah, a few
Yeah,
seasons
but God,
versus 2 episodes.
I hear that, but it's like they had. It's like something close to the source material had to be serious enough for us to watch it. There were
oh
so
yeah,
many things that they skipped over. It's like that was the deal. Because no, I'm just saying. Only
That
reason why
was
I'm
the
even
deal
debating
breaker.
this with y'all
That
is
was a
because
deal
I've
breaker.
had this argument with so many people
I'm
across the
I'm
spectrum.
enjoying this
Like,
because I've never had
yo,
anybody
Glenn
push
should have been
back on
fine.
me with
like
it.
No, we all
that's
like
the
it, but
deal breaker. They skipped over Rick losing his arm. They
yeah.
skipped over the way the governor arc was supposed to run. There were a lot of
I'm glad
different
about
ways
that.
that this show ran.
Yeah,
And
Hmm.
Glendine was y'all
Yep.
it was.
like,
I'm stick
It
beside
was.
Well,
it.
I don't know, guys. That being the deal breaker is
But
just crazy for me.
I mean, but like I said, like I said, it's the investment of the long run investment, and then I believe also on top of it is there was just a lot of foreshadowing before it actually happened. You know what I'm saying? They through that whole section of Negan, it's like they kept putting Glenn in situations like, oh my god, they killed him, and it's like he would come back, and it's like he's still here.
Yeah, but I
I
needed
feel
him
like
to still
partially
be
it's
there.
I feel like partially on top it's a PTSD thing.
Just admit it. Y'all was mad because he hit Abraham first and then swerved around and hit Glenn. Just admit
I was
that
mad
was
with
the deal breaker for
Abraham.
y'all.
I
Y'all
was
was
mad
mad
with
because
No, no,
they
no, no,
Abraham.
no,
tricked
no,
us
no, no,
and
no, no, no,
swerved
no.
us and killed
It's
Glenn.
No,
it's
no,
That's
it's
no,
what
a,
y'all
no.
was
yeah.
like.
It's like I said.
Cause
It's also that it's all
it's
of that.
Abraham and Glenn. I
Yeah,
like
it
When
is.
y'all
Abraham. I
seen
like Abraham a
Negan, y'all
lot.
knew what time it was. Y'all knew he was losing
But
crazy, and y'all really just was like, I'm gonna go against the real content. I don't get it. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all have had shows where y'all favorite person, y'all got through. If y'all got through Game of Thrones, y'all killing me right now. If y'all got through Game of Thrones and watched it
not
from
the
the
Okay,
I
beginning
didn't.
but if you
politicians.
really
to
want to
the
have
end,
discourse
y'all
about
are
Game of
fucking
Thrones,
killing me
I
right
didn't.
now.
no,
I'm
we
dead
got
on
we
the
got beef
inside.
with
I
Game of
didn't.
Thrones
I'm so
too.
serious.
We got beef with Game of
Woo!
Thrones
I mean, yeah, it's
We
too.
big
got
beef
No,
with
big
I
Game of
beef
Thrones.
with
love
Game
Game
of
of
Thrones.
Thrones. I'm just saying, Game of Thrones, if you was loving people, goodbye. Like, your favorite was probably,
Yeah.
your favorite got
It was
slaughtered. I
it
know
was
they did. I
something.
know they did.
It
Like,
was
I
just
come on.
watched
something
it.
that
We was
got
even
me.
about, we even thought Jon Snow was about to get packed up when he was on the
He
ice.
should
We
have.
not doing this. Like, we not doing this.
Okay, he should have. I don't care.
Like, come on. Y'all, like, that, like, no. My brain
But I
hurts. My
mean, look,
brain hurts.
Your
also,
Look.
brain
Let
hurt.
me tell
Brain
you.
but look,
To
hurts.
piggyback off
I
of
mean, it
Rob.
lost,
To
but look,
piggyback
it
off of
lost me.
Rob.
It lost me. Matter of fact, let me go. Let Fox go. Before.
To piggyback off of Rob. Okay. In that scene, they should not have picked a fine man to play Glenn. Cause to me,
No.
it's like where the rest of the fine men at?
Okay,
I
yeah,
can't.
I want to
Where the
add
rest
to
of
Thank
the
that
you.
firemen
because
at?
before
Thank
y'all be
you.
like,
We
"Oh,
lost
it's
And
just
then you
Lauren
about
to
had
a
him,"
zombie,
Abraham,
okay?
which
they
is the only
intentionally
ginger.
chose that actor to play Glenn. Glenn didn't look like that in the comic. Okay, he
It
didn't
did
look like
not.
that.
I'm
Did not.
crying.
It did not.
The
Yo.
just the understanding of like, yeah, of course, there is the source material, and there are other things that happen, but it's still, that still doesn't negate how people feel watching because
The
you
investment.
only know
Yeah.
what you know,
Yes.
because
And they
I
didn't
feel
have to do it. They ain't have to do it.
They
Yeah,
didn't
They
because we
killed. They
see
killed the man's wife. They
you.
killed his wife. Like
Yeah, I
y'all,
mean,
who did y'all
they
think was off limits? His wife. His wife died. Like, he
technically,
killed
if
his
we're going
best
by the
friend.
source,
Everybody on the farm died. Otis. Like, God, what the? What
I
are you
mean,
I
telling me right
think
now? I
no,
watched
but look, this was my
half the season. Half the main cast die before Glenn died. Like, are you
Do I
kidding
have to
me?
bring up
Like,
a picture of what Glenn looked like for you to see and see where we
Lori,
Yes,
yo,
well,
they
please.
Man,
ate my man.
Yes,
Not
please.
only
you
did my
was my
man
case.
Carl have to shoot his mom, a zombie ate her whole body. Are y'all
Right.
kidding me?
Hate
Her
that
whole
part.
body. T Dog. Yo,
about to
what
say,
about T Dog?
But to
yeah,
He
know
T
that
really
she
dog.
doing
already
this?
had peace and
Yeah,
she
but
didn't feel half of that
Oh
ate
my
upness
god.
before they ate the rest of her
Herschel.
body up.
Herschel
but
got his neck. Herschel. What?
but yeah,
Herschel
again,
over Glenn?
Oh my
Oh
lord.
man.
but they like
PT.
Kat was saying, they didn't
I
have
like
to do it
that.
because there
Aneurysm.
are some things even later after Glenn that
Yeah,
they did that's
but
not
that
in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
at all. Ooh,
Yo,
and
oh
the
my
ooh.
god. Guys, listen, Carl
This is
died.
so
That's not in
crazy.
the comic
Negan did
book.
not have to play
Exactly.
Rick
Carl was
around the
supposed to
That's not
roses
in the
be
with their
comic book.
Carl was
head.
supposed to be the successor, and he
Oh
died.
no,
They
Rick was
killed
the
him.
successor. They let Rick live this time. Rick was supposed to die in the comic book.
That's what I'm saying.
Rick
That's
did.
Listen,
exactly what I'm saying. They
but how many times? But and when I first started this off, I said they
Oh
skipped over the
Oh,
source
no.
material
Rob,
yeah.
come back.
plenty of times and
Rob, come
saved
back.
y'all from moments that would have made y'all leave. I'm telling you, the governor was supposed to cut off Rick arm in the second. We was about to be going through a handicap
Oh, we would
Walking
have been.
Dead
Yeah,
for
we would
like
have had.
a whole 8 seasons
We
and
would
it
have
I
had a
didn't
yeah,
happen.
handicapped Rick,
I
but people
feel
would have been upset. But Rick would still have been there.
Yeah. If
Bro,
he
do
would have
you
just hit Glenn a little bit, I would have just been mad. And then I
hit
would have
Glenn
watched the
a
next
little bit?
episode.
Oh
Do you
my
remember what
god.
he looked like when he got done beating
I
him?
did. He beat
yeah,
no. Did he overkill Glenn? He
yeah,
absolutely did because he didn't kill him
yeah.
like that in the comic book. He
And
Yeah,
splattered
Kate
him.
and that's
and
why. Yeah,
Kate
he.
Okay,
head.
I give it to y'all,
They
but
smashed him like they
that's
did
not the
homeboy
make or
at
break. And y'all should
It is the
and
make or
like
break.
no,
watching the
and
scene and seeing how it happened. I would think y'all would be like, all right, Daryl fucked up and got my man's killed. Not, oh my god, the end. You know, The Walking Dead just ended for me. That was the series finale,
Nah,
not
I was
season, the
done.
series finale for
I
me.
was
I'm just like,
Yeah.
yo,
done.
like really, like do
that's
y'all
it.
really want them to follow source material, or do y'all
I'm
just want them to be
65.
like, all right,
I'm
we
65
want
now.
all your
Yeah,
favorites
I
to
want
live and
look.
call it a
If
day?
I
Nope.
want the source material, I read the comic book. If I want
Period.
a
So how
different
would y'all have
take
had
on
Walking
it,
Dead end? Talk to
Well,
me.
Glenn
How would y'all
alive.
have had it end?
Glenn and Maggie live happily ever after,
Glenn was
and
alive.
yeah, Glenn was
Glenn,
alive.
oh my
Glenn and
god.
Maggie
It's
live
like a little
happily ever
forced
Y'all watch
after.
Game of
traumatized
Thrones. Y'all
zombie
got me having an
rescue.
aneurysm right
Rick
now.
wakes up and all of it was fake. That would have been good for
Rick
That
me.
right
wakes
there.
up and all of
Yeah,
it
Beautiful
is
ending.
fake.
Yeah,
Glenn up there with the farm.
But look,
Boom.
yeah.
look again. I would like for things to follow the source material, but they massacred my boy. They
Yeah,
didn't have to do that like
they
that.
didn't
They
have to
ain't
do
had to do it
that.
like
They
Bro,
that.
beat,
no,
and
no,
then he
no, no,
got
no, no,
back
no.
up. He got
They followed the source material for
Don't
that.
do it, Travis. Stop.
Resident
Stop.
Evil. No, no, no.
Stop.
Resident Evil is a massacre.
Oh, we're
oh
gonna
yeah.
talk
Walking
about that.
Dead
We're gonna
is
talk
source
about it.
material. There's
No,
a difference.
I'm not saying that they ruined it. I'm not saying that. When I say massacre, I mean just how,
Ruined.
like we just said, they beat him in the comic, but they didn't beat him like that.
No, and I gave y'all that. No, no, no.
They
It
didn't beat
was
him
an
like that.
overkill. Maybe it was meant to piss people off, but
Yeah, exactly it was.
but
And then look,
Mm.
it's not like he got beat and then he just was out. Nah, he got back up,
he was talking.
Hmm.
He was talking to
talking and
Maggie. I
looking at
was in y'all
Maggie,
feels. Yeah, I was in
talking
y'all
and looking at
feelings,
Maggie.
right,
Yeah, that's what that. You don't think that doesn't ignite some type of emotion in the people?
bro? I was mad with y'all. It
Yeah.
wasn't the series, but it wasn't the series
I'm finna
finale. You
cry
see how I'm not
again.
saying season
Oh.
I
finale?
know.
It
I'm
was
just
the
getting
series finale
physically
with y'all.
ill.
But
That
yeah,
wasn't me. I was like,
yeah,
all
it
right,
wasn't
now
you.
I gotta see
But
what the
you,
fuck
but
happened next
also, but
episode
yeah,
with
but
this
also
nigga.
the difference is also that you knew, like I said, for that 4 million people that left, they probably didn't know that part of the comic. They probably didn't know that.
I didn't have
Okay.
the money to invest in the comics, so I was coming into it new. All
Okay,
right.
I'm sorry. I'm
Same.
sorry you invested in Glenn and that happened to you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank
I'm sorry.
you. I
I'm
was just
if
playing.
it had followed the comic book though, a lot of your favorite people that are around right now wouldn't be alive. Like that's like,
Yeah,
but
you were right.
it's
Yeah.
cool. It's
But
cool. I'm just saying,
and
like
My
and
case.
let
as
let
it
Last little thing I want to just say too on that before I probably get cut off again. My internet is like ridiculous today, but it's just also the fact of like people like that read comic books, manga, different stuff like that or whatever. Like we're kind of used to seeing that type of brutality and different things like that. Whereas
Exactly.
with the TV show, you kind of have more casual watchers, and they're like, even though like you said, like yes, plenty of people have died along the way, but it's like the brutality in which it happened. It was also kind of like, oh my
It
god,
was like
I've never seen anything
that's
like this. This is too much
And
for my soul. I'm out. So
and on that one part of it being an overkill, y'all will get me to agree.
yeah,
But the make or break, I don't get it. But I understand the brutality, and I'm gonna say this: I was mad with y'all when y'all watched the episode and saw this happen. I was mad with you. I absolutely was.
yeah.
It just was not the series finale. It was the season finale, not the series. Season.
It
I
ended
watched
for
Walking Dead all
me.
the way through.
That was
I'm
it. When that
So
TV
you
ended,
watched
that was
it like the where
after
it
the
just
fact.
recently
I mean,
recently
if y'all
ended.
want to be pissed off, Negan ended up being their friend.
I
Like,
yeah.
know I heard, and
Look,
I'm glad I
Negan
didn't
redeemed
watch.
himself.
look. I
not a fan.
left, but I came back. I came back in little
I
bits
never
pieces,
came
and
back.
it's
Like,
like
Rick
My
ended up
my
actually disappearing. And if y'all want
Yeah,
to
I
be
do know
technical,
that.
Rick was supposed to die in actually a very bad,
yeah, he
I
was.
do read the
anticlimactic
Wikipedia. I don't
way.
watch
Like,
it, but I do read the Wikipedia.
he alive though. He's alive. He was supposed
I'm
to die.
glad you kept me
So
with
I'm
that
just
update
like,
because I ain't had no
hey,
idea.
and he was
my
supposed to get killed by somebody in the Walking Dead that they killed off on some real
yeah.
shit. So
Is
Oh,
yeah.
I
that dude
probably
with the
know.
dreads still there?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. He lived. He lived. He
Yeah,
lived. He
he
lived.
did.
He fine too. I might
The
start watching.
tiger, the tiger didn't. Shiva didn't make it through that. That's crazy. But
Oh, that's a wild.
yeah, nah,
Like,
they did
dang,
Shiva
You know when
dirty.
I really should have stopped watching when Maggie's sister died, cause
Oh,
That's when I
all
stopped
left
watching.
in
That's
the
when I
bin?
stopped.
that was
Yo,
rough.
no, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Now
that
the
was
Daryl
When
wild.
I
pulled,
tell y'all,
Daryl
I
pulled up and
sat
did
in
her
the
filthy
bed.
though.
I would weep. My mom came in there and was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like,
That's what
and
I'm
I
saying.
couldn't even get it out. My mom was like, "Okay."
Y'all crying for Glenn. That's what I'm saying. Y'all crying for Glenn when the governor
I
told
feel
my
you.
boy Rick he was a liar and just chopped Herschel like boom. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
nah, you
No.
didn't chop
Okay.
not my old
Not me.
homie. Why would you?
Glenn
Yeah,
was the final straw.
Glenn was
That's
the
where I
yeah,
couldn't take no more. I
yeah.
couldn't take
I
no
would say that
more.
too.
I
How
couldn't take
about
it.
guys over Dale? Dale got his stomach, bruh. Dale got killed because of Carl, bruh. Because of Carl. Come on, Dale. My boy didn't even
Carl
deserve
was
that.
You
horrible.
can't handle
Y'all
it.
wild. That made me take my headset off.
like
My
I took the
headset
headset
came
off.
off on that
You
one.
took
I
the
can't even
headset
hear
off.
shit right now. Now I'm gonna sit back on now so I can hear. Like,
I was about
no,
to say he
like
took the headset off, but
I
not
had to
like
take that
yeah,
headset off. Get Chiefy,
yes.
don't you hear what they saying to me, my baby?
You're like,
I mean,
Exactly.
I'm gonna pet
yeah.
you right now. I'm
Oh,
gonna pet you because I can't. I'm
oh.
gonna
Gonna
pet you,
roll
mama.
out.
He looking at the dog looking at him like that dog looked at that old lady like
I know.
You okay?
Nah, this conversation funny. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a good conversation.
I'm so glad that you like. I've never heard anybody argue for the other perspective, so I appreciate
Online,
that.
Yeah.
I am the king of probably unpopular opinion, but
That was good.
it's
I
all
appreciate
good.
it.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, like
Okay.
nah,
y'all still haters though. I'm just saying. I'm
I
just
was
we
big
go
hurt when T Dog. Look, I was hurt. I was big hurt when T
Oh,
Dog got
exactly.
yeah.
T Dog
I
got
stopped
clapped.
watching episode. I stopped watching for a few days. I ain't gonna hold you. I did. I was like, they killed my man's.
See, see, it's just
man.
hard.
That's how I
They
felt
did
with
him
all of
dirty. They
them.
ripped my
Yeah,
boy
they
neck
ripped
off. I'm
him.
like,
Yeah, they ripped him apart. I was like, dog.
but Glenn got just hit with a bat. Just a bat.
Glenn did not just get hit with no
Glenn,
bat.
he got his
Don't
head
We
splatted.
ain't
downplay it.
finna do
No, don't do
that.
His
that.
head
Don't
got
do
We
that.
ain't
splatted.
finna do
Y'all got
that.
it.
We
His
ain't
Don't
finna
do
do
is
that.
that.
splatted. Okay, y'all
You
got
know, he couldn't
it.
handle
It's
a little
splatted.
bat to the head repeatedly.
But there people died so much worse. You seen Otis? Y'all seen
That
Fat
wasn't
Otis when he
worse.
died
You
in
think he
season
did?
2? I mean, if
Yeah,
y'all seen that fat man get shot when Shane shot him in the leg
yeah,
and
Yeah.
left, yo,
that
they
was
ate
wet.
his ear first, guys. His ear first. Come on, not even his body, his ear. Why you ripping
You
on my
don't even
ear,
got an
bro?
ear on your head,
Why
Marlon.
you ripping my ear, bro? Bite me on my neck and make it fast. Come on, man. My ear, like, nah.
Look, he ain't the only
Speaking
one
of
losing ears
scary
out
stuff.
here. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want to. I don't want to take us. Oh, I don't want to take us away because there's so many other bad shows. Like there's so many other bad. Mm,
Bad,
what's
Nah,
yeah,
it?
this was
adaptions. Yeah, you're
That was
right.
good.
yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
This
I
is a
actually
good
like
time to
Walking. I
like.
actually like Walking Dead though. I like Walk. I liked
It
it.
was a
Like
good. It
it
was a
was.
good
It
show.
had its time. It had its little run. It had
Yeah.
its run.
We know.
We know you like it though.
Yeah, but y'all
You
only
been
like it up
10
to a
toes
certain point. Y'all
down.
don't like the whole
Woo!
thing. Y'all only like it up to season 8.
And I
Y'all
mean
don't watch the whole thing. Like
that's all right. It be like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Like
I
it,
see. I
Hold
it just
on.
see. I
like
can't say
like
nothing. Like I'm just
Hold
like
on. When
like
what
I ain't like
season did he die?
I think 8.
yeah, I
I
That's
believe
think.
a
so. Yeah,
lot of seasons that I invested into that show.
That's a lot.
it
That's a
is. That's a
long
long.
time.
That's a few years. You
My
know what I'm saying?
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you know what
just
I'm
saying.
saying?
We
It's time.
just
It's
saying.
time. It's just time, bro. Like I
Look,
said,
I was.
it's the time,
Speaking of
bro. That's all it
messy,
is.
Avatar.
let's
I mean,
talk
Aang
about
was
the
messy
messiness
too.
of these last two episodes and what was the scariest
Let
part.
y'all know that.
You said the
Cookie.
Okay.
scariest parts of the last 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, definitely the part when Joel picked up Sarah and they were kind of like running through the alley and
Mm-hmm.
that zombie was
Oh,
on their. I mean, that infected was on their. That
Mm-hmm.
part was
Sprinting.
crazy because I remember it from the game, but it wasn't that in depth. And that guy was
Yeah,
he
that
was
guy was
he was
on
shambling
it.
and
oh
on it,
yeah,
and
that was
It was
horrifying.
train to
of course,
Busan fast.
I thought the clicker would have scared the hell out of me. I was just so amazed by the prosthetics
Yeah.
being real, but them stepping on that stem, and then they all
Oh,
got up and Joe like
Yeah.
1 minute. I was like, oh
The way they were
shit,
running, like the way
yeah,
they were
that
just getting
was
up and throwing their bodies running was so horrifying.
Yeah.
yeah. Finally, zombies at World War Z speed make sense. Like those make sense
exactly.
moving at World
Yes.
War Z
It
speed.
does.
Yeah.
Like
And it gives me more anxiety.
especially because the graphics is good and everything. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, damn, that shit
It
is scary.
it's crazy.
I would say the grandma for sure had
Yeah.
me in a tizzy. Okay. The clicker for me, it like okay, of course, the mushroom head, but the teeth scared me the most. Cause like, why do you still have teeth?
It was
What's
horrifying.
going on? I know they could bite, but it's just the fact that they were just like
No, them teeth should have been
split
rotting out their
down, like
mouth.
the brain was split down the middle of the skull, but it was still. I was like, oh,
Ugh,
Mm-mm.
that was
oh,
so
I don't know why that
nasty.
freaked me out.
For me, I think the beginning, like the beginning of the episodes where they kind of talking about the virus and everything or the
Yeah,
fungus,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
like that for me is the scariest part. 'Cause, like it really set the tone. Like I said, the guy in the first episode, he's going to death. Like, well, what if the temperature rises and then it evolves and then what will we
Hmm.
do? And then in the second episode, the lady she goes, she check out the specimen
confirms it. Yeah,
and then she just like, I just want to go and be with my family. Like to me, when she said that, that was the most horrifying part. She was like,
Yeah.
I just want to go home and be with my family.
she didn't even drink the tea.
Now
Mm-mm.
she
Yeah,
did.
she
Now
did it.
she
She
said they're
did it.
about to go commit suicide vibes. That's how I felt. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, she about to go kill all of them because she don't want to live through
Like
this.
that to me was the most horrifying part. Outside of like
Hmm.
the clicker and all of that stuff, like
yeah,
because that really set it up to was like, oh.
that's more realistic. Peaches.
The horn part, the scariest part was the kiss. Cause I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
gonna be kissing people? Y'all got feelings like that after that? Ooh, throw a breath mint in that mouth. No, that was the most scariest part to me.
All them,
Cause you just see
they
it
gonna be
just
walking up to people swinging "My Sweet Lady" by Tyrese. You know what I'm
exactly
saying?
that part.
That's a fact.
Sweet lady, or just smack. I'm like, ah, no, mm-mm. I'm done. That was the most horrifying part because they're kissing people now. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh,
I
ugh,
know.
Nah, but
ugh.
it's different though
I
because
feel like I
someone
need to
said it
brush my
earlier
teeth.
about it like
Right?
accelerating the infection. So
Yeah.
that idea of like the tendrils accelerating it is interesting. I like just even though it was
And
the first way they did it was through a kiss. I'm like,
yeah.
if you're infected and then another infected touches you, can they accelerate your infection or will it change the infected that tried to accelerate your infection? Like,
Mhm.
that's interesting because we only seen the first two forms of of this quadriceps infection anyway. We only seen
Yeah,
two.
and
We
this
seen the clicker and the
the
regular form,
runners,
which the old lady was. We haven't seen
the runners.
we seen the runners. Yes, we did. We did. We seen the runners. We haven't seen a stalker yet.
Oh, you
Yeah, the
did.
stalker. Oh yeah,
Even though I think the guy that kissed the girl that kissed Tess was a stalker,
That's what I was
but
about to say. Isn't
might
she?
have
I
been.
Isn't
could
Yeah,
it?
be wrong
might
because
have. Yeah,
stalkers usually pop up in the dark, but they could have changed it. That's what I'm saying. I feel like
Yeah.
they could
yeah.
have changed it. Stalkers normally pop up in the dark and they try to catch the bite on you, but that guy looked like a stalker. That's why I'm just like,
I wonder what they're going to do. Yo, I wonder what they're going to do with the bloaters.
bro, did
Ooh,
you not
bleh.
see the
Did
trailer?
you not see the
What?
trailer?
I gotta
Yeah,
see it.
it's
I
it's
Oh
saw the
yeah,
Matter
trailer
of fact,
and
you're
I saw the
right.
new rock
You're
stars.
right. It's you're
bro,
right. It is in there. It is.
the graphics for the bloater look crazy. Like
What's up, Peaches?
I
those look crazy.
What happened?
no, I was gonna say I do like how Ellie kind of teased the different forms because she was like, yeah, I heard there's like ones that
Yeah.
like explode with spores and stuff, and then Tess was
Hmm.
like, I hope not.
Shambler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
The
like how they
shambler
kind of
is like
teased it.
the bloater before it becomes a bloater. Like
Yeah,
it's a bloater with the poison, but that's another form I want to see. But how they're gonna incorporate that one is gonna be weird because, like you said, it throws the gas. So I'm just like
Yeah.
the
it
bloater
might be.
kind of does too. Like it explodes spores out of its body. So I just want to see.
Yeah,
Oh God, I want to see a
it
bloater
might
kill
be.
someone. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but I gotta see a bloater grab somebody. The death animation that the bloaters got when they rip their
Yeah.
jaw
It's
is
gonna be sick.
Mm,
nasty.
Going back to
yeah,
that kiss though, like for another thing that it kind of reminded me of is like a humane aspect to the fungus because out of all the things that they could have done, you kissed her, which makes me think that there is something else going on other than this is just a virus.
in the
Bow chicka
anatomy.
And it
wow.
kind of like there's a mastermind within the fungus, not like
Mm,
Resident Evil type thing, but it's like this fungus is knowing, like it's a eerie comfort to Tess
mm,
because they could have
Mm-mm.
just knocked her out and just bloop,
Right.
bloop.
Just be
It
over
could have
with her.
been
Bite her
something
face
crazy,
off.
but they
Yeah.
didn't. And I know it's because probably because she's already infected, but
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't infected all the way. Like they could have wrote that so many ways, but to make it something that's comforting to us as a kiss, make it so eerie
Was it comforting?
to us. Like if
to
I'm saying a
us, I mean,
Oh,
normally
Like you
a
saying,
kiss
like a
is
kissing.
kissing
comforting,
in general. Yeah,
Okay.
and
I
then
was
you
gonna
turned it,
say
you twisted it to make it so
I
eerie,
did not feel
as
comforted.
mhm.
if the fungus itself is thinking. You know that
Mm-hmm.
scares
Has
me the most.
feelings. It has feelings.
That scares me.
like I said, it do. You saw how he walked up to her.
Okay.
All casual,
No.
like all
He really
casually,
did.
He
like
bit the lip.
I ain't gonna put no hands on
No,
you,
he
babe.
didn't.
Oh God,
No. Ugh.
Um,
that
He
was
bit the
crazy.
I'm
lip.
I'm
a
Was
not even
like,
gonna lie.
I'm going to push us
damn.
forward because I want to
Please,
get off this
please,
nasty kiss.
before you
Before
start
I
singing
do,
again,
I'm gonna
he
say
gonna
the
start singing
scariest part
Tyrese.
to me was, I think beside you said it, the guy at the beginning running. That was so horrifying.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that. And Rob, this is what we were asking, which you
Mhm.
probably gathered. What was the scariest part of
Yeah.
the first two episodes?
For me, probably when they had to first deal with the clickers in the museum.
Hmm.
Um, just because that scene reminded me of how stressful those games were.
Mm-hmm.
Cause honestly, after that first episode, I was like, you know what? I haven't played the first game in a long time, and the new remake just came out a few months ago. So I'm like, maybe I'll buy the remake and I'll replay the game again. And then when we
Hmm.
got to that scene again, and just hearing the sound of the clickers and all of that
No,
stuff,
thank you. You don't have to
my
do that.
my body just instantly reverted back to
Yeah.
those moments of playing the game, and it was like, oh yeah, yeah, this is a feeling I do not like. Maybe I won't play the
Yeah.
game anytime soon,
The
but it's
nostalgia.
just like my
Man,
body just remembered how
Yeah.
tensed up I be playing those games because of
Will
just
make you
that
flinch.
That's
that
that trauma in the
constant,
body.
especially where it's
exactly,
Hmm.
like,
that
especially where
constant
it's like
unease.
now, where like companies, these game companies almost make you play your games in headsets. So like playing it now, even in the headset, is like it's almost even more bone chilling because like going, like you said, going to them is even the first time you hear,
Mm,
And that's all you
and
hearing,
you
right?
yeah.
just and you just stop. You just like you in your bedroom looking around now. You're like,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
When that sound happened, when they were when Ellie and Joe was outside walking, and you just hear that sound in the distance,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
frightening too, because it's like because you're in a world
Mm-hmm.
where it's not like, oh, a bustling city, people around or whatever. It's just like there is nothing around, or who knows what's around, and you just hear that sound echoing, and you have
Yeah.
no clue
Mhm.
where.
And like super
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
vulnerable. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a fact.
Man.
Okay. So thank y'all for your input on the first two episodes of The Last of Us. We look forward to watching the third episode. I'm really sad that I couldn't just be patient and binge. Now I gotta wait every week like
I
a
actually
normal
love that they're
person.
doing that.
Yeah.
I love that
I
they're
love
doing
that
that.
they're doing it. I don't love that I chose to watch it immediately. I should have waited a couple, well, several weeks, and then I would have had a lot of stuff to watch. But then I
That's
would
what
have
I was gonna
felt left
do.
out. Yeah, this is too good.
You would have been a stress binging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I wouldn't have been able to
Right.
handle it, honestly.